Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at r/am I overreacting? So if that sounds like something you'd be into listening along to today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Okay, what do we have first then today? Am I overreacting, or is my sibling out of line? So, this is my sibling's response after I shared that my husband and I dropped our daughter off at the apartment she's moving into with her boyfriend while attending college. For context, I'm in my 40s, married, 22 years with 2 kids. My sibling is 11 years older, married but childless. Our mum, who passed away more than 10 years ago, was deeply important to the both of us. While I may have preferred the more traditional college path for my daughter, I trust the foundation we gave her. It's no longer our job to make her choices, only to support, guide, and cheer her on. I don't owe my sibling parental specifics, and I will not allow the expectation that my children must someday care for them. What? I'm sorry, if my kid doesn't stick me in a home and leave me there and go and enjoy themselves, I'm going to be fuming. I do not want to be their burden, thank you very much. Like, having kids just so you have someone to take care of you is not okay. Expecting someone else's kids to take care of you when you get old is definitely not okay, unless they're getting paid because it's their job. Like, unless they are literally a HCA at a care home, you know? My kids are not responsible for the consequences of their choices. Yeah, and exactly. It's like they didn't even have their own kids. So no, it would be bad enough expecting your own kids to do it and just expecting that is going to happen, but someone else's, that's another level of entitlement. What bothers me most is them invoking our mum as if she would disapprove. I know the opposite is true. She would be proud of the kind, generous young adults my kids are becoming. Most importantly, she respected our choices, even when she disagreed and never made us feel guilty. By offering the same love and acceptance to my kids, I feel I am honouring her memory. So this is a message from the aunt. I really don't know how I feel about all of this. I mean, yeah, we all expected her to go to college, but I always thought she'd move into a dorm and enjoy college life. But moving into an apartment in a place that's 3 to 4 hours away with her boyfriend, it's just not knowing the specifics. You would know the specifics as a parental would know. She will be the one to take care of me and blank. So we have questions, lol. Oh, get away with it, you absolute leech. We're just feeling a bit anxious. I find I keep wondering what mum would have to say. She would probably tell you to shut up by the sounds of it. So let's have a look and see what the comments say, shall we? I can probably tell without even opening them, but we'll have a look. So, Dominating Damsel says, respectfully, as an adult child myself, the fact that your sibling has even mentioned this, and from your comments not for the first time, tells me that you have not shut this down hard enough. As a parent, it's your responsibility to protect your child, who we can assume is just barely legally an adult here. You keep phrasing it as they don't have to, or must someday. Those are open-ended and aren't a definite no, which in turn feels like a roundabout yes. You need to have a discussion with your daughter about this sooner rather than later. If she says no, then you need to make it abundantly clear that under no circumstances will she be taking care of your sister. I love my parents, but we had the same hard conversation that I would not be able to care for them medically the way they need, but I will always be there for them in any capacity that I can. Exactly. And I feel more importantly having a word with the daughter, because I feel the aunt is still going to try and go behind the OP's back and essentially groom the daughter into being her carer when she's older. And no, because, if you get in their heads when they're young, they're going to think that's what they should do. So I think that the most important thing here is to have a word with the daughter and say, no, you don't have to do that. And it is not your responsibility, and you shouldn't feel bad for not doing it, Anyway, the OP then replies saying, I agree, I'm not the most confrontational person and have chosen a passive-aggressive approach. Yeah, you've got to be direct with people like this and be like, yeah, you could piss off, mate. But that's why I wanted to gain some perspective and consider my approach. But I have also told my child in no uncertain terms that it doesn't matter what my sibling says, they will never be obligated to be their caregiver. It's not even a question of whether she wants to or not. If for some reason my sibling needs a caretaker and their spouse can't do it, I will be the one who takes that responsibility. Next post, am I overreacting for being upset that my paid, assigned parking spot at my apartment is now fair game for anyone to use? I don't even have to read this to tell you that no, you are not overreacting. I would be fuming if I am paying for the privilege of having my own spot and they're just letting other people go in it. Nah, mate, no, I'd be kicking off. I'd be pulling a Karen. So, for the past week, my $50 a month assigned parking spot at my apartment has been taken almost every day. I always try to be lenient and wait a bit before taking action, but I've had to tow 2 cars this week. My goodness. Who foots the bill for that? I hope the person whose car is removed. If I park anywhere else in the lot, my car will be towed at my expense. Okay, that answered my question. I should have just kept reading. If I park on the street, I will be ticketed after 4 hours. The surrounding buildings are other apartments with assigned parking. Today, my roommates and I received the text telling us that we cannot tow anyone for the next week. Yeah, middle finger to that, my friend. I am pretty frustrated that this service I pay extra for on top of my rent is now fair game for anyone to use. Am I overreacting? They're taking the mick. Like, what? They're telling you can't tow anyone out of the space that you are essentially renting? Are they going to just let someone just move into your living room as well? What? So we have the message exchange here. So I'm guessing this is the property people. Parking may be problematic for the next week due to new tenants moving in. Do not tow anyone until after the 8th, 22, 25. That is a really weird date format. I don't think I've ever paid attention actually to how other countries format dates. That is really odd. We would put the day, the month, and then the year, and that threw me for a minute. So I was like, wait, there is no 22nd month. Okay, not important. Use patience. Hey, tenant, we know you're paying extra for an assigned parking spot, but for the next week, it's fair game for anyone. So, down in the comments, Involuntary Actions says they can still tow cars in their spot. This text was meant to make them think that they can't. Exactly. Plus, it's a text message. This isn't good enough to notice. OP is within their rights to tow cars, but they should probably let management know that they will be doing so. That way, the landlord can let the new tenants know not to park in OP's spot. Yeah, exactly. And then Shroom in Closet says it's equivalent to them saying, sorry, we have to have a few other tenants stay in your apartment. Exactly what I said. With you whilst theirs gets repaired. Please don't call the police to have them kicked out. Literally, if you're paying for something and you're renting it and you are renting the exclusive rights to use that, no one else should be using it. The cheek. And like, money is a hot commodity these days. So if you're wasting money on that, I'd be like, okay then. If you're going to just let anyone park in my spot willy-nilly, I am not paying for those months or those weeks or whatever that I do not have the exclusive rights to this spot. And I bet they'll soon change their tune then. Am I overreacting for quitting my job on the spot today? Ooh, is this a middle finger to the boss post? I love middle finger to the boss posts. So this one has trigger warning for talks of death and self-elimination. It is so stupid that I have to censor that, but if I don't, then it suppresses like the whole video. It's so stupid. For context, I moved just over a year ago and my girlfriend wanted me to meet her absolute best friend. Upon meeting, we immediately became friends. Now, I have been planning my proposal to my girlfriend and I wanted him to be a big part of our wedding. Recently, I got some horrible news that this friend had committed on a Wednesday after work. Still in shock, I called my boss knowing I was devastated and my girlfriend would need a lot of support from me. He seemed to be understanding and told me to take all the time I needed. I guaranteed him that I will be back on Monday. Sunday, he sends me these texts. I did remodel work for a year here, and this is my boss. My car completely died a few weeks ago, so I was lent the company car. Most jobs are an hour plus away. Edit, I posted this on a different page already, so more context here. This is not for my wedding in November, but I had asked for some time off more than 6 months ago. My boss frequently told me one thing and went back on it the next day, or forgot he gave me the okay for the time off, and now it was my fault. For example, using the company vehicle was totally fine, until it wasn't. I hate types like that. It's almost like they let you have these things to purposefully throw it back in your face, because it gets to a point when you're like, surely you're not forgetting you've told me all of these things. Like, it gets to feel personal. Anyway, let's read these messages, shall we? So, from the boss, unless you make some serious changes between now and November, it's not approved. And dude, you need to realise death is a part of life. What an absolute prick. Don't let yourself get emotional like this. I literally had my uncle die on Saturday yesterday, and I'm still working and doing my hardwood today. That's because you're a heartless bastard, my love. And that's blood. Blood runs deeper, right? No, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Family is not the be-all and end-all. The people who are the most important to you and that do the most for you in life are quite often not family, I'm not going to lie. And then there was a screenshot that says, so-and-so passed last night at 3:30 a.m. Please give me some time before contacting me. Condolences. Love you. Yeah, no, the boss has been a massive thunder twat. I'm not going to lie. So clearly his whole family are heartless pricks, because who sends a text message? I mean, unless you really don't like the person, and then I suppose, maybe you would send a text message. It would make sense. And I mean, considering this boss is acting this way, maybe his family really don't like him. That would make sense too. Anyway, so then the boss says, in case you think I'm talking shit, literally yesterday, I won't take one day off as well. Dude, that's messed up, honestly. I'm no star employee. You've given me plenty of lenience, and I know you have a business to run, but everyone processes things differently. I don't appreciate being told how to handle this emotionally. I took some time so I could get back to it and not bring it to work. I'll be present and working. You had told me on the phone to take some time if I needed it, and I appreciated it. But now it feels like it's being dangled over my head, which is so messed up. I'm sorry to hear about your uncle, and I'm glad for you that you can get right back to it, but that's not how everyone handles. I'll work on my work ethic moving forward, and I'll step up where you need me. And then big bastard boss man says, okay, blank, just show up, man. Conversation over. I'm not your friend. I'm not your lead. I'm your boss. Man the F up or find another job. Remember this. You ask for time off, that will be your last day. And get a car or truck. I'm also not responsible to get you to work. Don't care if your best friend dies. Show up to work. Oh my God. I'd be showing up to work just to give him a backhander. Yeah. Have a good Sunday. That includes your wedding in November until you make change. Or, like I said, find another job. Oh, so now he's trying to threaten you with not letting you have time off for your wedding. Wow. Yeah, I would be telling him to stick his job where the sun don't shine. No job is worth that. Honestly, these jobs think that they are the be-all and end-all. And there is always something else you can go to that will treat you better, that you can find something else. I hate the way a lot of companies act this way. Like, they own you, body and soul, just because you work for them. No, you need a life. You need to have leniency for illness. You need to have leniency for the ups and downs of life. Yes, of course, don't take the piss, but if more companies gave more leniency for these unexpected happenings in life, they would have far happier workers and probably be a whole lot more productive as a company, So, down in the comments, Dazzling Technology 9 says, I don't care how much a job pays. Life always comes first. Exactly. I do not want to get on my deathbed and be like, oh, all I did was skivvy after someone for my whole life. Absolutely not. Oh, and by the way, I'm not saying obviously that anyone that has to work and do these jobs where the employer treats them like crap is bad. That's not what I'm saying. It's not the employee's fault. And I understand that people kind of have to take these jobs a lot of the time because it might be the only thing going at the time. They need the money. You've got to do it. What I'm saying is that these companies need to realise that they shouldn't be making us feel like that. Like, it's not right. It's not right, and that's not how it should be. Unfortunately, it's how a lot of it is, but it is not how it should be. And I do not want to have to live like that, even though, you know, sometimes we all do have to. And if they can't understand that, then it's just the wrong company. I get one life, and I'll be damned if I'm sacrificing my mental health to show up to work after something like this. You 100% did the right thing, literally. All Out Fallout then says, we work to facilitate life and allow us to do things we want and need. We don't live to work. Companies want us to forget that and want work to become our lives, but it's not. If work ever becomes our sole purpose and value in life, we have it backwards, literally. Like, I agree with the mindset of you do what you're paid to do and nothing more. I don't agree with this whole you have to go above and beyond for your company kind of attitude. No! You pay me or I am not doing it. Simple as that. And honestly, I think if a whole lot more people just dropped the pressure and just went, F it. No, you pay me for what you want me to do, or I'm not doing it. I'm not doing anything outside of what you pay me to do. I'm not doing unpaid overtime. I'm not doing unpaid this, unpaid that. No, get stuffed. Things would have to change, and workers would be a whole lot happier. And then my friggin' agate says, not many people, when confronted with that last breath, are going to say, damn, I'm really going to miss work. Literally. Work hard whilst you're being paid, yes, but stop giving these companies your life essence. My goodness, they do not deserve it. So, next post, am I overreacting? A local internet provider forged my signature and did a soft hit on my credit without consent. And you can see there, they've taken a screenshot and they've just literally put a dot as a signature, so they haven't even forged it, really. They've just gone, yeah, that'll do. So let's get into the post. Today, a local internet provider knocked on my door, even though I have no soliciting signs, but whatever, they don't listen to them. I have a sign on my front door that says I will throw tarantulas at them if they knock, and some brave bastards still do. Usually it's the ones that are trying to be like, hey, are you the chef of the house? If you don't go away from my front door right now, I will be a chef that will be cooking you. Get away. The rep explained that they were offering free installations in my neighbourhood. After I insisted that I wasn't looking to change providers, he explains I didn't need to. This simply set up my home in the future if I ever wanted to use their services. Usually, they would charge for this, but for a limited time they were offering it for free. Yeah, there's a catch in there somewhere, I will bet you. I asked if he could email me about this program instead. After a lot of back and forth, he reluctantly agreed. He asked for my birthday and email, which I gave. Then he asked for the last 4 digits of my SSN, and I refused. Is an SSN social security number? We don't have that over here, so I don't know. We have a national insurance number. I don't think that's quite the same, though. Doesn't that allow you to sign up for credit and stuff? That's so dodgy. I asked why he would need that info, and he said, for the credit check. And I said, no, I'm not consenting to that. You can send me info about the program and I will read it. That's all. He said, okay. I shook his hand and he left. 10 minutes after he left, I received an email from the internet provider with a copy of an executed consent form allowing them to do a soft credit check and enrolling me in their program. I scrolled down to the bottom of the form and, sure enough, the sales rep had put a dot in the electronic signature box to get past that part and enroll me. And yeah, the electronic signature box is quite sketchy because they don't expect you to actually give a decent signature. Anytime I've ever had to give one, because usually they just hand you a tablet and no pen, like tablet pen thingy, so you just have to do it with your finger and it looks like a toddler has tried to draw a straight line. Like, what's the point in them? Because it's never your signature. I am absolutely furious. I called the internet provider and explained the situation, and they are escalating it internally. I cannot describe how livid I am. I bet you they don't, by the way. They'll just hope that you're going to forget about it. Not only did the salesman lie to me, they purposefully forged my signature so a huge internet provider could access my financial information without my consent. Am I overreacting? At a minimum, I want a written apology from the internet provider and the sales rep should lose their job. Yeah, no, that's really dodgy because you've said no. You explicitly said no. How have they done that without those last 4 digits as well? Because they asked for that, so I'm assuming they would have needed that. Wondering if a soft credit check affects your credit score. Let's have a look. Soft credit check used for quotes or eligibility checks when you is invisible to lenders and does not impact your credit score at all. How dodgy. I think this dude just thought, oh, God, it doesn't make any effect, so who's going to care? Sorry, but that's not how that works. So, down in the comments, Huggensberg. Enjoy that. I'm going to leave that in. That was so confusing. My mouth. She is confused. Sue, lawyer, police. This is illegal. All I need to say. And then the OP replied, so, in my opinion, 1, definitely not going to call the police about some burnout who tapped a box on his iPad to boost his sign-up accounts. This is a top 5 US internet provider, not a drug ring. I mean, it's still, it doesn't matter. If you do it on the non-emergency, just report it as someone trying to, commit fraud and move along. All it does is show the company you mean business, so they're more likely to act on it. I don't. Surely, you have an online thingy. I know we do over here. You have an online thingy where you can report things like this that aren't emergencies. I mean, I still would. Not that I'd expect anything to come from it, because what else are they willing to do if they're willing to forge your signature, which is illegal? 2, there's no real damage here beyond a soft credit check. Realistically, I'm not taking a Fortune 500 company to Smalls Claim Court over that. And I'm not trying to get blacklisted by one of the only internet providers in my area to make a couple $100 at most. All I want is an apology and written acknowledgement from the company what happened. What's that going to do? The company won't care. They'll go, yeah, we'll give you an apology because it means nothing to them. I think that is reasonable. So at least I have written record for the future in case I need it. The soft hit could also be reversed with this. I mean, dude, you may be a wee bit too chill, because to be honest with you, this would annoy me enough just for the fact that someone had the cheek to do it, let alone the fact that someone's literally committing fraud by, forging your signature. It would just piss me off enough that the guy had the gall to go ahead and do it, and that would enough make me want to kick up a right stink. What's stopping him from doing something more severe, like signing someone up to a 24-month contract for something which they don't want, So then Ice Chen Karnos? Says corporations are not people. Stuff like apologies or decency means nothing to them. Yeah, exactly. They don't get to be a Fortune 500 companies by working off of decency and morals and ethics. They have no shame. It's pointless to even try interacting with them on any basis other than commercial transactions. Get a lawyer, sue them for as much as the lawyer thinks you can get. Don't be surprised if it's 6 figures, and don't expect them to care about you or the sales guy or the situation 1 second after you cash the check. Now, do I think that taking them to court, getting a lawyer and trying to get 6 figures would work? I don't know. Never taken anyone to court. I would prefer not to ever have to, really. It sounds very stressful. But at the end of the day, at least kick up more than a stink than asking for an apology. My goodness. Then again, that might be just me being a little bit feisty today. I mean, I'm feisty most days, actually. I think just, the way the world is in general makes me want to fight. Quite often. Anyway, I think that's all we've got time for today. If you enjoyed and you listened all the way to the end, I appreciate you very, very much. Don't forget to leave a little like, subscribe, notifications on. That is your initiation into the Cult of Void. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Oh, dear, my knuckles cracked then. Didn't mean to do that. That was gross. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye.